Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Transformers Combiner Wars Unite Warriors variant of the Aerialbot Skydive. As you can see, Skydive comes with his traditional Generation 1 colours as part of the Unite Warriors variant. He also comes with a number of weapons that can be loaded on him. Notably, this would be the arm portion of the kibble of Superion to give some practical use to it. Looks alright on that side, less good that side. He also comes with his own gun as well, which is there. There's just a slot under either wing. There's also a slot there, which the gun rather nicely fits in as well. So you don't have to have a somewhat mismatched looking wing with this one side and that the other side. However, the actual jet mode appears to have missiles anyway. If we look on that side, it's a bit more clear the fact that there are missiles underneath the jet as well. Obviously they don't do anything, they are there just for show. Nevertheless, it's quite a nice touch for that. These are completely rubber or flexible plastic as well, the tail fins. I guess that's a safety feature. But, frankly it looks quite good anyway. In terms of colour scheme, obviously it is the G1 version. In terms of detail, it's quite a detailed looking jet. Particularly all the different slight indentation to give the impression of panelling going on there. The missiles, as I say, the fake missiles are a particularly nice touch as well. A very good toy. There isn't any landing gear of any sort, so you do have to just balance him like that, but it works well. And if we just look at the rear of the jet again, you kind of have the engines. As I've said with the other toys, it's obviously that his feet are just up there. It's only Silverbolt where the feet aren't. However, these are a bit shorter, so it's not quite as obvious that they're just unmovable feet, so that's a bit more acceptable. Transformation wise, it is relatively simple, so let's go through that. As you've seen on all of the Aerialbots with the exception of Silverbolt, they all have the same feet transformation like that. So the legs pop out. We will at this stage just open them, and then as you can see, you've got the little clips again. So that clips into the leg. Well, it will do, but first of all, you just have to make sure this knee should be in the other position. So that goes all the way down and the knee just rotates like that. So that joint. So what you need is that hole needs to be at the back, because that's what clips in to the rear of the leg. And then the front of the leg just closes in like that. This goes up like that, and you have a nice closed leg like that that's fully clipped. So same on the other side again. Move the front of the leg fully down. The knee here then just needs to stretch the joint forward, up and in, and that clips in. Tail fin goes back, and that is it for the legs. That's all you need to do. It's almost there now, because the arms don't actually do anything in terms of transforming down when he's in a plane. They just sit to one side. We are just going to flip up here the head, or rather the rear of the jet flips up. You can see there's two tabs here, two holes for the tabs, and they just sit in like that. Head rotates round, just facing that way. Now, in terms of the arms, they do need to go forward a bit. That's it. So they just, you see, there's a little almost a lever point there. So levers up like that, and so on. Same on this side, and then just flip the wings back. And here we go. He is now fully transformed. Now, I'll give you just pop his weapons on as well, so you can see them. So we'll give him his Superion part, which makes a gun that just plops. Say a gun, it looks more like it fires missiles. So that just plops into place, and then his other weapon as well, which just pops into the other arm. And there we have it. That is our completed robot version of Skydive. In terms of detailing, let's bring it a bit closer. Tell you what, I'll pop it there and I'll zoom in. That's probably the easiest option, isn't it? There we are. In terms of detailing, his head's very good detail on there. It's, you know, a little bit like Iron Man actually, doesn't it? With the bronze and perhaps the eyes and the way they look. But that's a little bit Iron Man-ish, isn't it? Nevertheless, it's a bit of a unique look for him. Again, he's got the little detailed Autobot badge there, which I think is really good. Really nice little bit of detail. You can see how the this part, which rotates round to form the Superior part, fits in there. Again, it kind of works like it is. Perhaps I would like it to see a bit more red, or perhaps some banding on it. But it kind of works because you've got on the side here, you've got black and then red and then black and then red and then black. So it looks like it's part of an overall colour scheme rather than just being something that's flipped in there, which is of course what it is. Maybe it's meant to have a bit of a colour scheme, I don't know. As you can see, with the knees, the panelling continues on the form, which looks good, and his feet work. They're not too big, which is why they look a bit better than on Slingshot. In terms of articulation, well, he's all that you would expect from a modern Transformer. Full knee articulation, legs swivel out, arms swivel up. His hands are just carved. They don't do anything. They're just moulded plastic. Well, I say don't do anything. they're a slot for him to hold the guns in. So perhaps that's the only downside. But I've seen quite a few Transformers that are moulded like that, and they still work. So I don't really hold it against them. What I have just done here is I've just popped these fully forward, just because that's probably what they're meant to be, so that it's all in line there. As before, I had that a bit far back, as you can see, so now it just pops fully forward. So that puts it in line. Head's got good articulation, goes up, goes down, turns round. As I say, we do perhaps expect it now, but it's still worth mentioning when they do have it because it looks good to see. Size comparison with our Power Master Dreadwind and our G1 Optimus Prime. He's a bit shorter than them, but you would expect to see that really. I mean, Skydive's not exactly... He was never meant to be the biggest bot. After all, he's a combiner. He forms a limb. It was only Superion that's bigger than all the others. So he's taller than his the G1 predecessor, and kind of feels on par. He doesn't feel, you know, too small, too large. He is very thin, and that's by nature of the transformation. The fact that all the wings are very high mounted as well. You look at Dreadwind, and his wings are quite low, but low mounted, whereas Skydive's are much higher up, which gives him a much thinner profile, and that works. You know, it gives the impression that he is fast, agile, and well, I guess that's what you want from a jet, isn't it? You know, fast, agile, quick. It works very well. And again, Optimus Prime is very square, but he's a truck. He's meant to emphasise, you know, power. Skydive, less power, more agility. But again, you'd expect that from a jet. In terms of the actual detail, I'm very impressed with the details. Say they've put a lot of bits on here that they didn't have to do. I mean, say the missiles, just for you on there, they serve no purpose other than to be decorative and to look good. And that's nice to see, because they could very easily have left that off, save a few, however much that cost to mould, and you know, we wouldn't have thought anything of it, because we would have thought, oh, these are the guns that go on the side. So it's nice to see them on there because they look good. And the colours, the paint works well, and it makes them stand out, and it's nice to see. I think the proportions are much better, particularly as say around the feet. Again, perhaps it's a shame they don't fold up, but because they're much smaller than Slingshot, it's less obtrusive, so it's less noticeable, and I think that works better as well. I think obviously Silverbolt's going to be the best of all of the Aerialbots by virtue of the fact that, you know, he's the biggest, he's the most detailed, probably perhaps the most convincing jet, even though he has all the bulky underside. That said, Skydive's got to be second. Second so far, certainly. He's got good old mode. The jet looks good. It's quite convincing. The robot mode looks good as well, and that's quite convincing as well. So I think he's definitely, from what we've seen so far, he's definitely the second best the Aerialbots. Yeah, perhaps the one letdown is the kibble bit, which is a bit silly like that. I know that's nothing to do with the toy. That's the way the combiners, all Combiner Wars combiners are done. So that's more of a range issue. They're all like that, and they could all perhaps have slightly more convincing hands and feet. But I guess I let it slide. And the feet would be perhaps a little bit better too. I suppose there's one point to say is I know I've been calling this a hand. While you can use it clearly as a hand, it's probably also more appropriate to use it as a foot, with the guns forming his hand, but they are fully interchangeable, so you could use it either way. But I know certainly the artwork depicts the missile elements as being toes rather than missiles, and the gun elements in hand. But as you can see, they're quite clearly as a hand there, and this is quite clearly a thumb, so you can interchange if you wish. Okay, I think that's all there is to say. Thank you very much for watching. Please do leave any comments below. That is the Aerialbot Skydive from the Combiner Wars version of Unite Warriors Transformers. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave any comments below, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.